Have you ever been there? You're just mindlessly scrolling. Or maybe you're chasing a streak on a language app. Or you're trying to earn just one more star at your local coffee shop. And you've probably had that thought. Why is this so compelling? Why can't I just put it down?
Well, it turns out there's a really powerful force at play here, and today, we're going to pull back the curtain on it. So in this explainer, we're breaking down gamification, what it is, how it works, and why it's the unseen engine driving our engagement with pretty much all the services we use every day.
So how do they do it? What's the secret? It's not some kind of digital magic trick. The secret actually lies deep inside our own brains. It's all about the fundamental wiring of human psychology and motivation. Okay, let's get into it. At the very heart of all this is a biological feedback system that researchers call the dopamine release loop. Basically, when an app gives you a little challenge, let's say hitting a fitness goal, and you actually achieve it, your brain gives you a little hit of dopamine. And that feels good, right? So you instinctively want to do it again.
Now, this taps into two different kinds of motivation. On one side, you've got intrinsic motivation. That's the stuff you do for its own sake, like the joy of mastering a new skill. And on the other side, you've got extrinsic motivation. That's the drive for outside rewards, like points or badges or discounts. The real genius of gamification, based on work by researchers Deci and Ryan, is to cleverly use those extrinsic rewards to spark a deeper, more lasting intrinsic motivation.
Because gamification so often uses things like points, badges, and leaderboards, a lot of people think that's all there is to it. But that's a huge misconception. As we're about to see, it's a way more sophisticated concept than just that.
So what is it really? Well, academics Hudary and Hamari give us a great definition here. The two phrases to really focus on are enhancing a service and supporting value creation. So the goal isn't just to make something fun, it's about making a service genuinely better and more valuable for you, the user, through these game-like experiences.
And this is a really crucial point. Gamification isn't about turning your banking app into some kind of video game. No, it's about borrowing those motivational elements from games to make the real-world task, like managing your finances, more engaging and maybe even more effective.
A great way to think about this is with an idea from game theory called the magic circle. In a classic game, like chess, the value, the win, the strategy, it all exists inside that circle. Once the game's over, it's done. But with gamification, the value is created outside the circle. The points you get for completing your LinkedIn profile translate directly into a better professional presence in the real world.
Now, this whole shift in thinking, it isn't just happening in a vacuum. It's actually part of a much bigger evolution in how businesses think about their relationship with you, the customer. We're talking about a whole new playbook.
You see, for decades, business pretty much ran on what's called a product-dominant logic. They made a thing, you bought the thing, end of story. But now, as thinkers like Vargo and Lusch describe, we've moved to a service-dominant logic. The value isn't just in the product itself, but in the ongoing service and the relationship built around it.
So how do you actually build that engagement? Well, research by Conaway and Garai basically breaks it down into 4 key ingredients. First, you need clear progress paths. You need rapid feedback and rewards. You need ways to connect with other people. And of course, the whole thing has to be attractive and easy to use. Think about any app you're hooked on. I bet it has all 4 of these.
So where does all of this lead? These psychological tricks, these design frameworks, they aren't just about keeping you hooked for the sake of it. There's a much bigger, much more valuable goal at the end of the line.
This quote from Eric von Hippel just nails the core problem perfectly. For ages, companies would build things in a bubble, and then, shocker, the products would fail, because they fundamentally misunderstood what people actually wanted or needed.
And that's where this idea of value co-creation comes in. The big idea here is that you, the customer, aren't just a passive consumer anymore. You're an active partner in creating the value. The more you participate and give feedback, the better the service gets at meeting your specific needs. And gamification, that's the tool that gets you to participate.
Okay, so it all sounds great in theory, but what does the evidence say? Can you really draw a direct line from a fun little challenge in an app all the way to a better service overall?
Oh, absolutely. A recent study of sports apps showed this super clear chain of events. The input, those emotional mechanics like rewards and challenges that drove the process, which is just user participation and feedback. And all that participation directly led to the outcome, a better designed service with features people actually wanted. The loop is complete.
So here it is. This is the big aha moment.
Every time you complete a challenge or answer a poll or connect with a friend inside one of these services, you are sending incredibly valuable data back to its creators. You're not just a user anymore. You are, in a very real way, a co-designer.
It's a really powerful and efficient system for improving services, there is no doubt about it. But it does leave us with a fascinating and maybe slightly unsettling question to think about. As these psychological tools get more and more sophisticated, and services get better and better at motivating our behavior, who is really in control?